Cigars in Bel Air. What's that about?
One of my favorite records, man. Well, obviously, everybody that follows me know I love cigars. I'm a cigar aficionado. Shout out to my brother Flam. My brother Flam was the one who introduced me to, the cigar community. And that song, I just wanted to make something for that community, so you could get your little whatever you sip on, and get your smoke on and just vibe out to it. That's one of my favorite records too.
Cigar and Bel Air is about class. That's upper echelon kickback.
Yes, indeed.
Because if a man has never gone, and salute to the people in this era, because I'm a member of y'all too. I don't smoke though. But the cigar club is a gentleman's club that's about manhood and operating on a certain level of business.
Yes, indeed.
So class is something that hip hop isn't really open to, but definitely needs. Talk about your class of MC. How did you elevate to that class in your journey?
Well, basically, mine just came to just like going to class. Going to class and you graduate through different levels. Like I said, I'm still a student. I'm still a student of the craft. I pretty much got to this point by just I'm older now, so I look at things different. My mind, my way of thinking is different. So the people that may choose to listen to me may be a certain age, from maybe 35 to 40, and they want to listen to something smooth, or they just want to vibe, just catch a vibe. So I got to this point, I pretty much tap in whatever the vibe is, I tap into it. But at this point in my life now, I know my lane. So it's just like so that's how I got to this point. I just came with years of practice and studying, bro. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I appreciate that though.
Well, let's flip the question another way. What's the difference between a blunt and a cigar?
Well, a blunt, you basically take a cigar. What they do? They got backwood, they got wraps and stuff now. But back in the day, you would empty whatever the tobacco that's inside of the cigar, and then you put whatever you got and you do that. But a cigar, you got different. Just like weed is different, mixtures, different grains, and the cigar is pretty much. I guess weed relaxes you too, but you get a certain vibe from cigars. But the difference is you dumping out whatever the tobacco is and you adding something else.
That's hip hop today though.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who's taking from it and adding in their own thing mixture.
That's true.
And some people catch the vibe and relax and it's trash. But you have some people who are cigar ready. Who, like I said, class doesn't mean age level.
Yeah.
Class means
it's definitely true.
How you carry yourself in the culture when people see you. It's called a prestige.
Well, I got a lot of that from my dad.
Salute to dad.
Yeah, I got a lot of that from my dad. Watching my dad, how he moved. My pops is a real OG. Anybody that know who my dad is, they know what time it is. I don't really have to go into his back. If you know who my dad is, you know what time it is. So he's my hero. He's pretty much where the name came from and how he moved. If you ever met my dad, you'll see why I admire him. That's the way he dressed, the way he speak to people, like the mayor. You know what I'm talking about? And that's pretty much, I gotta give him his roses. Cause that's really where I got a lot of it. Outside of music, that's where I got my class from, how I move.
I wanted to put class into your interview because when we think about class, we think about the group or the generation that you're in.
Yeah.
This generation, everybody refers to them as the 90s generation. I don't. I refer to them as the rehash of the 80s generation. Let me tell you why, and I'm gonna get your opinion on this because you are a spitter. I need to speak a spitter's perspective. Hip hop is so trash today, not rap. Hip hop, the culture is so trash, is because we are holding on to something that passed and not building on things that are new. We're just elevating with the technology. Like on the wall, we have pictures of Biggie and Tupac. They've been dead over 20 years. Why are we still talking about them like they're here? That's a problem. That means there's no there's no forward movement from their passing. Rest in peace to the late Biggie and Tupac. And when people talk about today's generation, they say Drake, Cole, and Kendrick. That's the top three because they're big enough off the 90s. But if you think about the 80s, there were more than 3, and they were in groups, and the groups went by vibes. So you had Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, KRS-One, Cool G Rap arguably was in there as one of the top. Slick Rick, Cool J. See how the names go on? And here you got Kendrick, J. Cole, you got Drake. Some people could say Future, and I mean it's other people there too. That's the reformation of putting the foundation back on class. How do you feel as an MC when people put you in a class and then you see what your peers of contemporary so-called competition may be? How was that for you?
Well, for me, I'm honored that my name will even come up. Like I said, I'm still a student, man. I love this thing that we do, and to build off of what you said, people judge the certain little sections of the generation. See, I'm fortunate enough to come. I mean, I was able to see, the Kane, the Cool G Raps, and then it transitioned to Redman and so on, and then going into the Drakes, and I was fortunate to see all of that. See what it is just that what it is like people just they hold on to whatever generation or whatever they got their Mount Rushmore is pretty much based off of the era that they're in, and the young cats now, I'm sure Drake would be Kendrick Lamar, that's their Mount Rushmore, Lil Wayne and all of that. But I am old enough to I caught hip hop when hip hop was just growing to what it became. So, but for people to put me in a space and acknowledge me, I'm honored.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't, I wouldn't take it, and I don't look at nobody as competition. Like, my thing is, I'm my only competition because I don't really focus on what the next man is doing. Wait, okay, he got his thing, I got my thing. So I don't really chase that. But if you happen to put me in a space with somebody, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
So let's play devil's advocate and flip it. Hip hop today is not trash. Because then by the 80s,
I never said it was.
Me, everybody, me. So I'm playing devil's advocate.
I never said it was trash.
So the flip side is, if it's like the 80s, that means it's growing again. Now we're seeing a rebirth of something, and we have many names to put together. Because in the 80s, there were different territories. See, the trash of the 90s is that we had to group everybody together because business came into it. So you had New York biases, but in the West Coast there was Too Short, Toddy T, Ice-T, NWA. In the South there was Suave House, Tony Draper, Rap-A-Lot Records, Two Live Crew, and Luke Skywalker Records, period. So then it was always a growth. So then when people grouped together, it was an appreciation of the different sounds. The reason why I bring this up is because you have a verse in the song with Chops the Savior song, Legendary. And on Legendary, Old 50, Left Guns, Quasimil, You, The Savior. I mean, if there's anybody left out, I apologize. Just moving forward. But
Swerve.
Shout out to Swerve. How can I forget Swerve? So you have a group of MCs that came from that late 90s, 2000s era that still holds the baton and lets the world know it is your time, but our time is not past now. What does that mean to you?
That means a lot, man, because I had a conversation with somebody yesterday. Just because you reach a certain age, if you're, I would say maybe 35 or get stepping on a 40 or even after 40, a lot of people feel like you got to put the mic down. And I guess society or whatever, they make people feel that way. A lot of artists, they get depressed as they start getting to a certain age because they feel like nobody want to listen to them no more. Or they feel like people may judge them. Me, personally, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? You don't pay my bills or whatever the case may be. I love hip-hop. I'm a hip-hop kid. I'm going to be a hip-hop kid forever. I don't know how long I'm going to have the passion to rhyme and spit, but, a lot of cats think that, when they get to a certain age, that they can't do this no more. And my thing is, man, as long as you have the passion to do it, you still alive, do it. You know what I'm saying? And I was honored to be asked to be amongst those MCs. So we are pretty much from the same era. And I respect everybody that's on that record. And it was dope to to get in the ring and spar with those brothers. That was a dope shout out to Savior for putting that together and including me. That was an amazing experience, man. I love working with brothers and building with brothers, just seeing what brothers' minds was at. And we had even that session was just dope. The energy and the things that we talked about was dope in that session. But it's just like to all of my artists out there that's beyond their 20s, man, just continue to love the craft, man. Continue to love the craft, whether you produce, whether you sing, whether you rap, love the craft, and then whatever else comes, along with that is just a cherry on the top. You know what I mean? I hope I answered your question.
You did perfectly. Because at the end of the day, class is known by its members, how you hold up the craft, and how you represent the education you were given.
Exactly.
And y'all set the tone for something greater to come. Thank you for watching our presentation. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube family and hit the notification bell for updates. Please like, comment, and share this video.